All right, so column A, there's three each, right? So column A, egg rolls, one. Okay, I'll take a team leader, pork, chicken liver. I'll take a researcher and a web. And column B, a case manager, an investigator, and a sensitive. And I think they'll fill me up. Thank you.
Hey guys, Tim Arnwine here, the long-haired ghost hunter, author of Ghost Hunting Getting Started, co-founder of Ghostly Experiences. Welcome to Ghost Hunting Getting Started, the series, episode 5. Now, if you're new here, welcome. Thank you. I want you guys to meet Sammy. Sam, what's with the whistle? Oh, you're the coach. All right, that's cool. It's appropriate. Because tonight we're going to be talking about team member roles. Now, don't hold yourself back because you can't fill every role we're going to discuss. There's a lot of teams out there with 2 members, 3 members. So if you're excited about it, go for it. Okay. Now, to me, roles are just a way to help the investigation process flow. Now, if it flows and it's run professional, it can only be a good investigation. And that's what you want to give the client. All right. So there's 6 of them. So let's get started. One is team leader. Now, the team leader, you're going to be building the team, promoting the team. Initially, you're going to be gathering and confirming investigations. And then you're going to, you're going to keep your team in the loop about, investigations, dates, any events, things like that. But during the investigation, now, as team leader, you're going to do the walkthroughs with the client. Talk about their concerns, any, present hotspots, things like that. Then you're going to bring in the team, and you're going to assign people to do like baseline readings and set up equipment. And we'll talk about all that. All right. Now, if the activity starts shifting, then you're going to suggest where to move the equipment. All right. Now, the greatest tip I ever got as a team leader was don't cheat yourself. Okay. What I mean by that is don't stand on the side and play team leader. Get involved in the investigation. Okay. Because it's fun. And that's why you got in this, to investigate. And plus, the biggest joy is you're going to see your team grow as they get more experience. All right. 2, case manager. Now, let's go through a couple things before that. Okay. Remember, anybody can bring an investigation to the team. That's the luxury of having a team. Now you're spreading your net because, this team member might know and run into people you'll never run into. This team member might run into people daily that you'll never know. So it's a way to spread the net. All right. But a thing about that is whoever brings the case, okay, and case managers, this is important. When you're listening to the client's concerns, don't judge them. You're going to hear a lot of crazy things. Like usually when I pick up the phone, it's going to be, you're not going to believe me or you're going to think I'm crazy. Don't be judgmental. They don't need another skeptic in their life. Okay. Another thing, when someone's bringing the investigation, don't spread the news. Don't tell the team members everything. Just tell it to the team leader or the case manager if you have one. Reason for that is you want the minimal amount of people knowing the history of the location or the history of the activity. You want your team going in cold, no preconceptions of what's going on. It just makes for a more honest investigation, right? So your case manager, you're going to make the call. Okay, you're going to be the liaison between the team and the client. And that's good because it's flowing. Because now there's one number for the client to call and only one person calling the client. They're not being inundated by team members calling them. Okay? So the case manager, you're going to get the call. You're going to listen, get their concerns, the activity, the history of the place, any renovations. You're going to get, of course, the address. Is there anything special about this location? Like, is it a gated community? Things like that. And remember, you're going to be the liaison through the whole process. So if there's like a change in activity, or maybe the client has to reschedule, you're going to be that person. You can tell the team. Okay. Very important for case managers. Don't confirm solid the investigation until you talk to your team. Because let's say they want to do it Saturday night, but no one's available. Well, either you got to cancel the investigation or you show up by yourself. So always confirm with your team and then confirm it up with the client. And just be honest with them. Say, listen, I need to confirm up with the team. I want to make sure I have coverage. Okay. Now, next up, investigators. Now, investigators are kind of the techie arm of the group. You know, they're going to set up the equipment, monitor the equipment. If there's a shift in the activity, they're going to move the equipment. They're the ones that be gathering evidence through recordings, pictures, audio, and things like that. Now, the important thing about investigators, or basically anybody who's working with equipment, be proficient. I mean, you don't have to have a PhD in the equipment, but be proficient with it. The reason for that is it just adds credibility to your investigation. And if you don't get any evidence, that's fine. That happens. But if you don't get evidence and you've been fumbling with your equipment, the client might go, you know, they didn't get nothing, but they kind of look like they didn't know what they were doing. So be proficient. Okay. Next up, sensitives. Now there's also psychics, mediums, empaths. But for the sake of this conversation, we'll call them sensitives. All right. Now, sensitives are very rare. They're gifted people. And not everybody's as sensitive. I'm not. So this is probably going to be your most difficult role to get. Okay. But it takes time and patience. Okay. Don't rush it. Okay. A good sensitive, I call them my light into the activity. And what I mean by that is, let's say the client calls and say, you know, my bedroom was really hopping. But the sensitive comes in and goes, you know, Tim, I think the kids' room is active. So I'm going to set up equipment in both rooms. You know, I'm going to go with the client's concerns to see what's going on in there. But I'm also going to set up where the sensitive thinks the present hot spot is. It's just a shortcut. It's better than trial and error and, you know, playing tag. Right. Now, good sensitive can do cleansing, sagings, things like that. But more importantly, they might be able to educate the client how to move on from whatever's there or was there. So they're real important. But again, be patient. Don't rush finding one. Okay. Next up, researchers. Now, researchers are great because they can research the location, the history of the location, any incidents that happen. Because if you can match up some history with what you get, that's a good confirmation. Like if you can match up a name or, you know, something that happened at the location and you can match it up with the evidence, that's a good confirmation. All right. And next up, web, online. Today's day and age, you need it. Face it. No one goes to the yellow pages anymore. They're going to find you through a website or through social media. And this is also a way to make announcements, present evidence, present experiments you're doing. Now, some teams, they will go live on their social networks during investigation. But please remember, privacy is the most important to a client. Not every client wants their name and their location, and even businesses. They don't want their name and all that slapped all over the internet as being haunted. So if you're going to go live, get permission. Okay. So that's your roles. And remember, don't hold back. If you're going to, don't wait to fill these roles. These are just suggestions. All right. Now, most of you know that I am a retired paramedic and I'm real big on safety. So every week we have a first aid tip of the week. So here we go.
All right, let's close her up. Relax. Let's catch up. Can I get some fries? Oh yeah, by the way, here's your first aid tip of the week.
Oh no. There we go. Sorry.
Hey guys, so this week, first aid tip of the week, we're going to talk about dressing wounds. We're going to talk about hand wounds, long bone wounds like legs and arms, and we're going to talk about dressing a head wound, and then we're going to briefly go through a chest wound. Okay? So, for our example tonight, we are going to use Shane's arm. Say hi, Shane. All right, good job. So we're going to start with a hand wound. Now, hand wounds, you put it up. Let's say you got it here. It cuts here. Okay, you put some gauze on it. Now, what you can do is when you're dressing, put it at an angle, a down angle. If you can see that, down angle. Then you go through, hold it, put your fingers up. No fingers up, I'll do that. Put your down, and then you go around straight. And then you're going to take your angle and fold it up. Okay? And then you're just going to go around and around and around. Now, when you run out, when you think you have enough, that the gauze is doing enough, you can cut it and tuck it under or tape it. Now, when you're wrapping any kind of wound in the arm or legs, you want to be sure there's no, you're not cutting off, it's not so tight you're cutting off blood circulation. So the person can be complaining of tingles or coldness, or you could just press the nail beds. You press them, they'll turn white. If you release and they come back to pink within 2 seconds, then you're good. Okay? So, finish taping that up. Okay. I'll just wrap it through. Okay? Wrap it. Now, if you don't have any tape, here's a little trick. You can always take this, wrap it, roll it around, and then make a knot. And you got it. Okay? Then you cut off the excess. Now, for arms and legs, those are long bones. We'll just use Shane's little arm. And same thing. Put the gauze because of the wound. And remember, lay it at an angle. Okay? Because what's going to happen is you're going to lay this one under, and then you fold over the angle. And now you got it anchored in. Okay? And just wrap that around. Now remember, if the blood is seeping through the gauze, don't remove it. Just put more on it and keep wrapping. Okay? So that's how you do hands and long bones. Okay? Thank you. Say bye, Shane. All right. Now, we're going to talk about doing a head wound. Okay. Now, head wounds, first rule with head wounds. Feel the area first. Like, let's say the head wound is here. This is actually my son's droid. Let's say the wound is here. Okay. Don't go pressing on it with the bandage. Always feel for it first. Now, if you feel like an indentation or a dent, be very careful because that might be a skull fracture and you don't want to push that bone into the brain. Okay, so palp it. Okay, there's no indentations. Take the gauze like you did before. Okay, now the thing with head wounds is you can wrap it through right over the eyes. The eye part right here has a brow. So now it's going to give you an anchor. And you just wrap it around. You get, this one doesn't have ears. If you did it, you can wrap it around the ears and just wrap it around. And make sure you get the anchor of the brow here. And that'll keep it nice and snug. Okay? Remember, don't just start feeling around till you feel around the skull. Make sure there's no indentations or dents. Because the skull fracture, you can push the bone fragments into the brain, and that would not be a good day for this person. Okay? Okay. Now, the last one we're going to talk about are chest wounds. Now, chest wounds are very important because if the person is saying they're short of breath or having trouble breathing, or you actually will see like the wound is here and now you're going to see some bubbling, that means there's air getting in and out. So that is a definite rescue call. What you want to do is basically loosely put it on there and call rescue right away. Okay? So that's your first aid tip of the week. Thanks, Shane. And remember, next week we will have another one. So thanks for everything, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, Shane. Listen, a little more about first aid. Remember, this is first aid. Don't get in the weeds on this. Okay, don't do something that you think you've seen on TV. Basic first aid. Okay, any head injuries, remember head, neck injuries. You gotta roll them out. Be proactive. Call rescue. Okay, any kind of the chest wound, I said bubbling, rescue right away. That's an emergency. Okay, and then at questions, comments, tips. You can send them in to longhairghosthunter@gmail.com. Right below is all my information. I'm located at Ghost Hunter, longhairghosthunter.com, Longhair Ghost Hunter Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm also at ghostlyexperiences.net. So announcements. Okay. August 27th. If you want to, you're South Florida area or you're visiting and want to take part in the Ghostly Experiences Paranormal Boot Camp, reach out to ghostlyexperiences.net. If you have a special event coming up, let us know. Okay. We can always do like a ghost hunting theme event for that. All right. If you're in South Florida area this Saturday and you're interested, I'm going to be at the Old Davies Schoolhouse off Griffin Road. I'm doing a book signing. I'm going to have all the equipment there. We're going to talk about ghosts and the equipment. It's a fundraiser for the Old Davies School, so come on by if you're in the area. All right. August 6th, I get a big announcement coming up around there, so I'm just finishing up, putting up finishing touches, so we'll let you know about that. Okay. Now, if you guys are in the South Florida area and you think you're having activity, reach out to me, longhairghosthunter@gmail.com. I don't charge for investigations. I'm just there to help people. All right. So listen, next week we're going to be here 9 o'clock, do another episode. 9:45 tonight, we're going to be going live on Longhair Ghost Hunter YouTube. If you got any questions, comments, type them in. We'll see, talk about it. All right. So, what? Excuse me? Drop and give me 20? All right, Coach. Let me finish here, okay? All right. So, you guys have a great week. And if you're out there investigating, be real careful and just have fun with us. Right? So we will see you all next week.